Yo guys, what's up? It's a Two Square here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing our final NFL mock draft. I think it's 4.0 at this point. I lost count of the points after we stopped doing the 32 team mock draft, 7 round. God, can't finish that ever. One day, one time, I will finish that entire mock draft, but not during school because everything compiled in 1 week and I literally got so stressed I was losing hairs. That was a joke, by the way. But if you want to avoid me losing my luscious hair, please hit that like button, hit that comment button, and hit that subscribe button, and do all of that. And then also hit that notification bell while you're down there to be notified when I upload next. So let's get right into the video after we select Trevor Lawrence with the #1 overall pick because it's the obvious move. And then also doing the second obvious move is taking Penei Sewell. That was a joke. We're taking Zach Wilson. I think those two picks are going to be 1A, 1B for the most obvious kinds because they're top of the quarterbacks. You have to take him at this point because you have no franchise besides them right now. Jets don't have a quarterback. They traded Sam Darnold away, and then the Jaguars have Gardner Minshew, not helping you a lot. So let's take those two, and this is where the real draft starts. So the 49ers, after trading up with the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins trading up with the Eagles, I still feel that. So with the Jets here, though, I think that this draft is going to be more of me predicting the picks for the teams at least. Maybe spots change. Obviously, trade downs, trade ups. I think New England's going to be one of the teams to trade up for a quarterback, whether it be Justin Fields, not Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, someone like that. I think that could happen. But the 49ers here are obviously between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Obviously, that might be smoke, might not be, but I'm going to have them taking Trey Lance here. Oh my god, my eyes are itchy. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to have them taking Trey Lance here. I think that I wouldn't say he's got the more potential out of the Kyle Shanahan scheme because of the fact that both of them can run like plays and the ball decently well, but like Trey Lance can add that X factor of him like being able to take off at any single moment, while Mac Jones, like design rollouts, or sometimes he scrambles out the pocket. I think that people knock down Mac Jones. I don't hate him at all, but I think that he's more of a finished product than Trey Lance, and you can kind of mold Trey Lance to be whatever you really want from a quarterback. Kyle Shanahan wants the guy who can roll out, play action, maybe hit the deep ball once in a while, but it's mostly about the we're more about the horizontal routes, getting guys with screens and stuff like that. But Mac Jones is 100% a possibility. I don't know why Justin Fields isn't either, but we'll find out more about that as draft day comes. So Atlanta, I think that Atlanta, man, they got so many possibilities because they could take a quarterback like Justin Fields, Mac Jones for the future. You go win now here and take Kyle Pitts. You could take a Penei Sewell, Jalen Waddle. You have Chase here as well if you really want to go wide receiver, but Kyle Pitts, a guy who can play wide receiver, tight end. He's just a weapon here for your offense. Which, Julio Jones has been inconsistent, at least with his injuries, especially with Matt Ryan being with him for like the past 2 years. I think that you can get new blood there, and he can kind of very similarly play the Julio Jones kind of role once Julio retires. The big body catch guy who can also take the ball vertically and do amazing plays like that. Kyle Pitts, just a great weapon overall. And if they're going to take the division or trying to take the division, Kyle Pitts is the way to go. Not a quarterback if that's really your if that's your plan right now. And especially long term, he's going to be that safety weapon, his safety blanket for whoever quarterbacks you're going to be. If you're going to be bad next year, then you can get a good quarterback here and have a Kyle Pitts beside him to play with him at this point. So taking that there, the Bengals, you have to take Penei Sewell here because Penei Sewell from another tackle like Carmen it's a major step down. But a guy from like Chase to like Terrence Marshall, who's also played with Joe Burrow, there's a little bit more. Obviously, like you prefer some things with Jamar Chase, but Marshall isn't bad at all, and some other wide receivers aren't bad. And you have Tyler Boyd, you have T Higgins, who have shown you that they're great wide receivers in their own sense at this point, that they can carry a load as well, especially with T Higgins. Before he got injured, he was balling out for the Bengals and Joe Burrow and Brandon Allen, I'm pretty sure it was, or Brian Finley or whoever. Like, he was balling. So the Dolphins taking the obvious pick. I'm going to have them taking Jalen Waddle. No, I'm just joking. Jamar Chase. Get the fuck over here. Number 1 wide receiver to have for Tua. I think that he can do everything here for the Dolphins and very simply complement Devontae Parker, who he's more of the contested catch, short, medium guy that he can decently stretch the field, but not as well as Jamar Chase. And man, Jamar Chase has got such a good release off the ball. I'm not saying that Devontae Parker isn't good as well, but Chase is just a little better, bro. And I mean, it's not bad having both of them. You shouldn't shy away from taking a player just because you have this guy on the roster or you have a young guy that might work out. I mean, but you could also take a bona fide guy that can play at a high level of guard. So here with the Lions could go a multitude of picks. I mean, this could be a trade down spot for them, and Patriots could jump up here, jumping Carolina to take someone. Broncos as well, trying to trade up here, passing Carolina. You could see a guy like Raiders or even Chicago try and trade up to this pick. Maybe not Chicago, but like maybe Washington. There's a multitude of teams that can trade up. I think that you could take Justin Fields with this pick or even Mac Jones, because Mac Jones is somewhere on this list. He's 65 in player rankings. Not bad. There's a lot of good here. I think if you're long-term rebuilding here, you take Devonta Smith. And I'm going to take him here. I think that they're going to try and win some games, but you can't win games without good wide receivers. And Jared Goff has Quintez Cephas and Terrell Williams. Nothing to smile about there. I mean, Cephas had his good moments with Matthew Stafford, but that was far and few between. Some of the plays that he had, it was mostly in the later half of the season when Kenny Galladay was literally never there, and Marvin Jones had to carry the load, and then he got open. But getting a guy like Devonta Smith, because he's very similar to Robert Woods, who Jared Goff pretty much preferred besides Cooper Kupp when he wasn't injured, and just grabbing a guy like that to really be the number 1 and to help Jared Goff, because if you don't want to suck that bad, you have a wide receiver like him. But if you want to suck that bad, you get, I don't know, fucking Justin Fields, and he'd still suck because there's no wide receivers there. So taking Devonta Smith, easy pick here. So Carolina, I think that this is the perfect spot for Justin Fields or Mac Jones, depending who trades up, whether it's New England, whether it's Chicago, Washington, Broncos by 1 pick, but I don't know why the fuck you do that. Steelers, I think Steelers could trade up if they really wanted a quarterback now. I'm gonna have someone trading up here to number 8 and taking Justin Fields. Whether it's Patriots, I think Patriots could trade up. I think Patriots are going to trade up here to take Justin Fields. Either that or Mac Jones. I'm gonna be wrong about this, but I don't really care because it's my damn mock draft. Okay, so with number 9, I think that the Broncos could be in the market for a quarterback, but I mean, taking a linebacker like Jeremiah Owusu-Koroma, I think would really fit what the team really wants. And if you're trying to win now, you put all your money on Drew Lock and this young offense that you're trying to develop, and not just throw another quarterback there and say, okay, we're starting over at quarterback again after having Drew Lock there for barely 2 seasons. Literally, he got no off season. He got a COVID offseason, and he got an injury offseason for his rookie year. And now he's had a minor COVID, more of just learning about the playbook and look at what he's done good and look what he's done bad. And with Mac Jones, I would take Jeremiah Owusu-Koroma here. I think the quarterback rumors are smoke at this point. My prediction, honestly, but I would not be surprised if they took a quarterback and said, fuck you, Drew Lock. Don't hate Drew Lock. I personally don't hate him. I think that they have to give him one more shot. I mean, Vic Fangio is probably like, okay, I'm on a short leash at this point, and maybe taking quarterback at this point would be helpful, but Dallas here, easy pick here. Where is he? Did I miss Patrick Surtain? There he is. 16, we're going to take him there. New York, I think that New York's got to take the deep threat. I think they have to take one last piece for their offense, and it's not the offensive line. It's going to be the wide receiver Jalen Waddle here. So with the Eagles here, I think that J.C. Horn would not be... The thing is, I wanted Jamar Chase, and I'm taking off my earbud because it's moment time. Why the fuck would we trade down and not take a Kyle Pitts or a fucking Jamar Chase? We get J.C. Horn and 3 first-round picks next year, which next year could be good, but the wide receivers aren't good. I mean, we get a good corner next year, but why the fuck wouldn't we take Jamar Chase? Taking J.C. Horn. I mean, he's a great corner overall, and we kind of need a second corner, but we also need a number one wide receiver for Jalen Hurts to throw at. I mean, I love me some Travis Fulgham. He's a number 2 wide receiver at best, an outside wide receiver, not a number 1. We have Jalen Rhaegar, who is a good slot wide receiver that can play and go deep, but he hasn't shown us that yet, and I need him to show us that. He's a first-round pick last year, and I don't want him to bust. But holy shit, why the fuck didn't we take Justin Jefferson? Why the fuck didn't we take J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? The Chargers here, I think Chargers could take a guy. I don't think you take a Parsons here. I think you have to take the best damn offensive lineman in Rashawn Slater. Also, if the Eagles take an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, I'm going to lose my mind. You're going to see my reaction literally. Okay, here with Minnesota now. Minnesota, I think, could take another tackle, and Christian Darrisaw as well. I think that they need a bona fide left tackle here, in the sense that, okay, they could use Tevin Jenkins. I think he's got a lot more nasty streak, but he's played right tackle. He's played a majority of right tackle his career at Oklahoma State, and you have Brian O'Neill at right tackle, which you don't hate at all. So, taking a natural left tackle here in Darrisaw would not be bad at all. So here with the Patriots, I think that Patriots at this point, if they don't trade up for this pick with Justin Fields, is Mac Jones. I think that very similar with Josh McDaniels. I think that it's the scheme that the quarterback type that he wants, a guy who stays in the pocket majority of the time, but he's quick pass. He's very aware. He's very smart in the pocket, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Very similar to Tom Brady. And we saw what Tom Brady still does, even out of the system. He's making plays. He's a little bit more turnover heavy, but I think that with the weapons that he had, that caused him to do that. Look at his last year in New England. No wide receivers. Jacoby Myers was probably his best wide receiver. You had no Gronk because he retired either that season or a year after or a year before. Offensive line was okay. Running back Sonny Michel. James White. Here at 16 for Arizona now. Arizona could do a lot of things. Take Farley. I think corner's still a need here. Micah Parsons as well. Elijah Vera Tucker. Jalen Phillips. Ooh, there's some great guys. Why is Barry Brown at 19? What the fuck? Whatever. I'm between Vera Tucker, a wide receiver, and Tevin Jenkins at this point. You could say a guy like Tony, but I feel like Tony and Kirk are very similar. And then you have AJ Green, you have DeAndre Hopkins. I think that you could take a little bit. You could take a wide receiver later and still hit on the pick and not go wasting a first round pick when you have some other needs, especially on the defensive side and the offensive line. I'm gonna have them taking Tevin Jenkins here. I think that he kind of fits what they need. They need a right tackle to really hold down the fort, to really be the bully there, especially on the offensive line, which isn't the greatest at this point because you have Humphreys, you have Ronnie Hudson, who's not getting any younger. I don't know who the fuck you have at right guard, and then you have Justin Pugh. Injury brittle. You need a guy. You need a guy there. Here with the Raiders, I think that the Raiders, dude, you gotta take the upside of Micah Parsons at this point. He's the perfect linebacker that you need that can add a lot to your team, especially pass rushing, run stuffing. Good coverage is a little bit iffy, but then you have guys like Court Littleton, and then Tanner Muse, and then other guys like that. And then you don't want to go edge rusher because you have a lot of young guys who you're still hoping to develop. Kellen Farrell, Max Crosby, but then now you also have Yannick Ngakoue as a pure specialist, a pass rush specialist, but then also have Parsons kind of being his run stuffing partner at this point. There's a lot of good that you can bring with Gus Bradley at this point, and especially with that linebacking core now being a little revamped with Micah Parsons. Dolphins here, Jalen Phillips or Kwity Paye. I think that Phillips fits more of what the Dolphins kind of need in an edge rusher, a kind of stand-up guy. And I'm going to take him. I think that's a great value pick here, at least for the Dolphins, because they need, I think they need a pure edge rusher. They don't really have one. They have Van Ginkel, They have Hugba, and that's all I can think of. They don't really have a star guy there on the defense, which is full of stars at this point. Now getting Phillips and Jamar Chase. God, that's such a good draft. Oh my God. Here with the Washington football team now, I think that Washington's got a lot of good. You could go Elijah Vera Tucker. Bateman would not be bad, but I think that a guy like Zayvon Collins would not be terrible, especially for their inside linebackers. They've tried experiments with Reuben Foster. Holcomb's not bad. They have John Bostic, I think. Grabbing a guy who can take a little bit of time, and especially with Ron Rivera with linebackers, can develop them pretty well. Also, a guy like Luke Kuechly. Dude, I'm going to take Zayvon Collins here. I'm going to take Zayvon Collins. I think they need a little bit of tackle, but you can go and hit that in the second round. Bears now. Bears can't take a quarterback. It's not really a whole lot there that they really... I mean, Tony, but then you have Miller, and you have... what's his name, bro? Oh, Daryl Moore. But then you have Allen Robinson, who's going to be there for 1 year. Could take a guy like Greg Newsome. Or even an offensive tackle like a Reduns. Could see him fall. Vera Tucker wouldn't be bad. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have him taking Greg Newsome at this point. I think that he's very similar to Kyle Fuller. Obviously, you let him go. God knows why. Just to sign Allen Robinson. God knows why. But you need a little bit more corner help. I think you're going to grab him there. I think you have Jalen Johnson as well. Kind of be buddy cops there. He was drafted in the second round, I think, last year. So getting a good compliment there. Jalen Johnson and Greg Newsome, who's not a complete ball hawk like Fuller was, but he's not a liability. He's got a lot of good pass breakups in his tape that can translate well to the NFL at this point. So with the Colts here, the Colts have a plethora of what they can do here. They could take Caleb Farley. They need a little bit corner help. I think they kept Xavier Rhodes, but he's not a spring chicken, of course. Kwity Paye's right here, man. I'm going to take Kwity Paye. No doubt. They do need tackle, but I think you could tackle a little bit later. I think that they need kind of a guy to be their star edge rusher. They have Justin Houston. I think he might not be on the roster anymore. Then you also have a guy like, what's his name? Ben Banagoo. And then you couldn't bring in a top tier edge rusher, so there. So I'm gonna have him taking Kwity Paye. So here with Tennessee now, Farley, Bateman. I could take Caleb Farley right now, but I think they need to hit a first round pick at this point because obviously Isaiah Wilson, he didn't pan out. So you know I'm gonna take Rashad Bateman and have him pan out. So here with the Jets, obviously if you saw my 7th-round mock draft, you know I took Farley here. Leaning a little bit more towards the offensive line at this point. Vera Tucker's the best offensive lineman on the board. And I think that overall, I think you could take a Creed Humphreys. I think that... I know in the Shanahan system, you love... You know what? I'm going to take Creed Humphreys here. Taking a center guard who has a lot of versatility. And I think that the Steelers could have gone Creed Humphreys here as well. Landon Dickinson, I don't think he's a first-round pick. I think he's just like a pure second. I think that you're scared because of the injury history, and also he's not a spring chicken. Creed Humphreys is like 23 as well. I think Landon Dickinson's 24, so very similar ages. But again, I think that Jets, I think that he's a lot of versatility as well. Dickinson does too, but injury history kind of scares me a little bit. Okay, here with the Steelers. Running back's an option here. But is that really the smartest decision here for the Steelers organization? I mean, they're the organization that took Artie Burns, so maybe not. Oh, but I've seen a lot of Jalen Mayfield, and I think that whether you play my guard, whether you play my tackle, he's going to play well at either of those positions. I'm going to have him taking Jalen Mayfield. So here with the Jaguars, ooh, Farley would not be bad to pair with Henderson. Maybe Vera Tucker at point. Marshall. Morig. Ooh, what if I took Jamar Johnson? Or Nam Dean? I mean, I feel like I think this would be a pick where Urban Meyer would see like, okay, I'm going to take a chance and take Javon Holland. I know Morig might be the better safety for some people, but I think that Holland fits kind of more with what the Jags kind of need in a slot more of a slot corner and a safety at that point. And he can blitz, he can do all of that, play a lot of different coverages as well. Same with Morg, but I think they kind of like the more blitzing ability of Holland. So the Browns here. Oh, there's one guy. I think one guy that slips all the way. I think it's Christian Barmore. He's the best damn tackle, interior defensive lineman that's in this draft at this point. I think he's the best damn interior lineman, and he's not going to go anywhere near him because teams aren't looking for interior at this point. But the Browns are. They don't have Sheldon Richardson. They don't have what's his name? Guy from Charlotte, Ogunjobi. They have no one at defensive tackle at this point. Bringing a guy like Barmore would kind of be obvious at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if they would take him. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Ravens here. I could see the Ravens going a multitude of positions, maybe going back to guard, not corner. I could see edge rusher Ojolari. Rousseau would not be bad as well, but you know what? I feel like their safeties are kind of lacking at this point. I see a lot of Ravens fans taking safety. Not too high on safety, at least in the first round, but I mean, this is predictions, and I feel like the Ravens could go there at this point because looking at long term, they don't really have a good good safety. Okay, here with the Saints pick, I think the Saints could go multitude of positions. I think Verrick Tucker. I don't think offensive line would be a good pick here. Nope, not defense. I mean, Rousseau would be a great developmental guy at this point as well, especially where the Saints are going with them obviously not having Drew Brees, but I think wanting to compete a little bit, but also looking for cap. You know what? I'm going to take Gregory Rousseau here. Take Gregory Rousseau. I think that Saints could be a sneaky team to take someone who's going to maybe almost fall out of the first round. I think I like Tony as well, Marshall, not a running back, maybe a redundant. I wouldn't say even tackle. I would maybe go wide receiver at this point. Maybe Joe Tryon, but I think he's more of a 3-4 at this point. So here with the Packers pick, this is a hard one. I'm between a Rondale Moore, a Kadarius Toney, and Elijah Moore. I feel like with Matt LaFleur, he likes the big body wide receivers that can do it all. I'm gonna take Toney. I don't see him falling out of the first at this point. Whether it's with the Bucks, Ravens, maybe Saints as well. See him with Baltimore with their first, but here with the Bills. I mean, Bills could take Farley. I think they like a lot more off man. I think that's kind of what they run. Could go into like, ooh, dude. I mean, he's right there. He's right for the pickings. I'm gonna take Elijah Vera Tucker. Baltimore now, edge rusher again. I think you could see an edge rusher like Jason a pure pass rusher and Jason Owe. Ooh, I think that could be the surprise pick of the draft. Maybe Javon Holland, or maybe Mac Jones at 15, maybe a surprise. But I feel like the Patriots are going for a quarterback at this point. Obviously, all the weapons they brought in, but maybe more of a win now quarterback, maybe. So here with the Buccaneers. Ojolari would be a perfect edge rusher for them. Joe Tryon. I think that people like his more. I think would like his ability more as a pass rusher. Yeah, I'm gonna take Joe Tryon. Okay, guys, so that has been the NFL Mock Draft 4.0. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. Like I said before, looking for the future of my videos. Obviously, I'm gonna be finishing up my sophomore year soon. So double uploads will be coming back. So the 8th of May will be my reactions to all of the NFL picks after a week of like dwelling on them and kind of like looking at how they're gonna fit into the scheme, maybe who fit into player personnel. But then also after that, so the 15th is a Rainbow Six Siege video. I know a Siege video is supposed to come out the 24th. Got a little busy. It's in the works. I'm gonna try and make it as good as possible, I hope. So yeah, 15th is the Siege video, and then the 18th could possibly be an Escapist 2 with some of my friends. Get some good things there going. Maybe you enjoyed that. Maybe some Minecraft. You never know. So comment a game you'd like me to play. I've thought about Final Fantasy, doing a series on that, kind of every Tuesday, playing Final Fantasy for like 30 minutes or anything like that. Also maybe live streaming at this point. there's a lot that could go on in the future. Comment what you like to do. Comment what you kind of want to see from me. I mean, this is more of a variety channel. I do Siege, I do football, I can do other games like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. My name has been Circle T Square. I will see you in the next video. Peace out. I hope the Eagles don't drop a lineman. Please, I God, swear I God.